What's up guys, EverythingApplePro here, and the OnePlus 5T is here, the sequel to the OnePlus 5 with a new design, new features, new display, new software changes, new camera, and so much in between. So in this video, I wanted to go ahead and see, is this new challenger as fast or comparable to the iPhone 10 even in terms of speed? It's a great standalone phone. My impressions on it were actually really good. It's quite thin, it has a headphone jack, it's pretty much one of the purest Android experiences you'll get without actually a stock Android ROM, and I really like the support from OnePlus in terms of updates. But let's go ahead and do a speed test comparison with Apple's latest iPhone 10. It's hard for Android phones to really excel because of the limitation of the processors, but the OnePlus 5T really does push the Snapdragon 835 to the limit. 2.45 gigahertz with 8 gigabytes of RAM. I think this is going to be a really powerful contender, and you guys will actually be very surprised with the results. So I started a high scores sheet, and as you can see, OnePlus actually made a name for itself with the fastest second round, as they always come stocked with a ton of RAM. Anyways, I do have on the left the OnePlus 5T, on the right the iPhone 10, and we are ready to begin our real-world comparison, where we'll be running apps you'll basically be running on a daily basis with all apps cleared in the app switcher. And we're going to go ahead and start with Snapchat. So loading one actually was quicker on the OnePlus 5T. I actually commend OnePlus for shortening those animations to almost nothing on Oxygen OS, something you don't really see much of nowadays, especially on Android phones. On the iPhone, the animations in comparison seem long out and drawn out, but it felt natural until I started using the OnePlus 5T. Anyways, because of that shortened animation, it's keeping up very well with the iPhone 10, where most Android phones start falling back. But recently, most Android phones have been keeping up with iPhone pretty well. The Galaxy Note 8, the Pixel 2. I feel like in the next couple of years, they might even start overtaking Apple if Qualcomm can catch up on the Snapdragon side. The 835 has just been recycled and recycled through every smartphone nowadays, so there isn't really too much competition here. But even having said that, the OnePlus 5T begins pulling forward here. It's already 2 apps ahead, while the iPhone 10 is still loading Asphalt 8. For the extreme power user that just loads one application after another, the OnePlus 5T seems to handle that better than the iPhone 10. I noticed the iPhone 10 screen went dim. For whatever reason, I kept having this bug that the more applications I opened, my screen would dim once in a while. It's the strangest thing, and I couldn't make or raise the brightness above 50%. It was really annoying. Anyways, at this point, the OnePlus 5T is powering through all of those web-based apps. It has incredibly fast Wi-Fi, I noticed, while using the application, faster than the iPhones by far. So while that one is still loading Grand Theft Auto, this one is finishing the test and already onto the 1 minute and 30 second 4K video, which I tend to use in every single video, so nothing special here. This is the one limiting thing about the Snapdragon 835. It doesn't process 4K video very well, but then again, how often are you editing 4K video on your phone? It's just a test of power. And I do want to reiterate that the iPhone 10 is fresh. For whatever reason, everyone knew it was coming. Apple even released the guidelines for updating applications, yet so many apps have not updated or optimized their apps to take advantage of either iOS 11 or the iPhone 10. So that's why it's a little infuriating doing this test, knowing that the iPhone 10 has higher potential, yet most apps aren't updated to support it fully. Anyways, so I sped up the 4K video exports. That's why you're seeing the mismatch here, and even them up onto round 2. The iPhone 10 finished round 1 with 3 minutes and 23 seconds. The OnePlus 5T with a very formidable 4 minutes and 5 seconds just because of the slow 4K exports. Had that not been a part of the test, the OnePlus 5T would have surely won. But check out the OnePlus 5T with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Every single application was still loaded up and left exactly where I left it. That comes in at 30 seconds, making this the fastest phone I've ever tested on this channel. The iPhone 10, otherwise, with its 3 gigabytes of RAM, is suffering here, as the 4K video export took up a lot of resources in iOS, and they had to overwrite those existing applications. As you can see, every early application that I loaded had to be reloaded, and it was annoying up until Asphalt 8. After that, everything was where I left it. So unlike some Android phones where it completely overwrites all of the existing applications, some of these were still there and ready to be used. So I do like that at least. Anyways, it comes in with a much slower score of 1 minute and 5 seconds because of reloading those applications. Otherwise, pretty pretty good. All right, guys, so there it is for the speed portion of this video. I'm having a very weird intermittent brightness bug on my iPhone 10. The brightness just cuts out and doesn't work above 50% for whatever reason. So do forgive me about that. Anyways, let's go ahead and do a startup test, show you guys just the speed when turning these on in a hurry. And I forgot on the iPhone 10, it's now volume down and the side power button. And with both devices off, starting up in 3, 2, 1. So on the left, Oxygen OS 4.7.1, and on the right, and that's with Android 7.1.1, and the iPhone 10 is on iOS 11.1.2. Really fast startup on this guy. OnePlus doesn't seem to have any carrier screens, so that's nice. Might give it a little bonus, but the iPhone 10 does win considerably faster here. So that one actually very fast. All right, so both pretty fast. I mean, in this day and age, most smartphones will be, so that really shouldn't be a problem, but seems like off the get-go, just from a power off, the iPhone 10 is faster to begin using. Anyways, so let's do some launching synchronized, and I do want to reiterate that the OnePlus basically won the speed portion of that video, both round 1 and round 2 up until the 4K rendering, and that's something, a limitation of the Snapdragon 835 chip. So if you guys wanted raw speed, the OnePlus 5 does win on that front. Okay, but in any case, let me go ahead and clear up the app switchers here. By the way, Apple take note, a clear all button in case you ever want to do that. It's really annoying having to go through these manually. Not that Apple even recommends you do that. Anyways, Snapchat in 3, 2, 1. That goes to the iPhone actually. Instagram on 2. OnePlus loaded that one faster. These are connected to the same network for the web-based apps. Camera 1, 2. Actually identical there. Maps 1, 2. OnePlus loaded that one faster. Wow. Photoshop Express. And that goes to the iPhone, but actually exporting the image. Let's try that. Camera roll and save to gallery. iPhone did save that one first. Minecraft 1, 2. Hesitation there on the OnePlus, but that's a non-optimized Minecraft version. Did actually load the game faster here, so 1, 2. And actually loading the level. Glitches over here on the iPhone, definitely faster there. Okay, so I do like that on this guy, the on-screen controls are always on the bottom to swipe up. It's annoying going to different apps on the iPhone 10 and having that bar show up on different sides of the screen. You never really know where. Anyways, Mario Run 1, 2, and it looks like the OnePlus here is a little bit ahead. So, yep, definitely does begin to load faster on the OnePlus 5T. This is sort of a web-based and a game. Okay, Asphalt 1, 2, and a web-based massive application loads on the OnePlus just a little bit faster. And I'm having the brightness bug again. Check this out. Kind of freezes. My brightness now doesn't work up above, I think 75%. Look at that, it does nothing. So annoying. All right, gonna load some websites. 1, 2. And Apple loads faster on the Apple device. Let's try Oppo. 1, 2. And that loads, of course, onto the Oppo related device over here. Okay, so as far as speed goes, there is that. Let's get into the raw numbers now on both the iPhone and this guy with Geekbench 4. And of course, the iPhone finishes first with a very strange 9643 multi-core score. Usually don't see it dip that far down. For some reason, I'm always getting 10,000, so quite low for that one. OnePlus has a staggering 6,645 multi, 1960 single core, which is actually something pretty common with any device using the Snapdragon 835. So good scores here overall. Pretty surprising multi on the OnePlus 5T. 8 GB of RAM sure does help. So there are those. Let's try and to do 3D benchmarks. And here we are. My iPhone 10 is tripping out with the brightness again. Doesn't work from 50% anymore. But worse yet, it has the worst score I've ever seen from it on Antutu, 136,000. Interesting thing is that before, you can see the previous score, it was 189,000. I'm really not sure what's going on here. So it's capable of beating the OnePlus 5T, but in this particular test right here, the OnePlus 5T did beat the iPhone 10 on 11.1.2. Really not sure what is going on here. I'm not liking how much this thing is tweaking out. Lastly, a speed test with the network. I now have gigabit internet, so we can really test these Wi-Fi chips, see which one is faster. I'm going to start with the iPhone 10. And wow, I'm quite surprised. I got a much more capable 467 megabit download on the OnePlus 5T, even a higher upload at 46 versus 41 here and 280. And I did retest, and this is a consistent result for the iPhone 10. So the Wi-Fi chip is actually capable of faster speeds on the OnePlus 5T. All right, so let's test the biometric face unlock system. The iPhone 10 has Face ID, which uses a 3D depth mapping system. The OnePlus 5T does have a secure one as well that uses over 100 points of data on your face, although it does not have a 3D mapping system in place. So it's a little less secure, but let's see the speed here. So in 3, 2, 1. Wow, that is over twice as fast. Try that again. 3, 2, 1. Take note, my face is the same distance away from both, yet the OnePlus 5T is so incredibly fast. Wow, and I'm not even looking at it. I'm looking at the iPhone 10 because it requires it with the attention feature, yet it's so much slower. Apple really needs to work on the animations here, and look at the lack of animations. That itself makes the OnePlus 5T seem so much faster. It's just ready to go off the bat. All right, guys, there it is, the OnePlus 5T versus iPhone 10 in a speed test smackdown. So my conclusion is that the OnePlus 5T has got to be the fastest Android phone I've tested on this channel. The lack of animations, it's just great all around. It's the 4K video where it starts to hang. Again, that's a limitation of the Snapdragon 835. But everything before then, you can consider it a faster phone than the iPhone 10 in opening applications. So I think that was great. If you guys are looking for an Android experience that's fast, this is the phone for you. The iPhone 10 though, I mean, it does a lot of other things very well. It's an iPhone, you know, what more can I say? So hopefully this video gave you a good comparison of speed between the OnePlus 5T and iPhone 10. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. Peace.